Imagine a young girl, age 10 or so, sitting in her pink room. The walls are pink. The rug is pink. The curtains are pink. And she's listening to her favorite band at the time. And the band is made up of all men. But that's an aside. That doesn't bother her. Nor does it even occur to her that that would be anything to focus on. So this 10-year-old girl wants so bad to participate in what these guys are doing. You know, just loving the music and wanting to be able to do it as well. So this 10-year-old builds instruments out of cardboard and fishing line and builds a drum kit out of boxes, you know, because 10-year-olds have time to spare. And so this is what she did and wanted to emulate this band so bad. Imagine the same girl then shifting interests, well, not shifting, opening up to more interests, including music. And now she's completely obsessed, almost to the point of insanity, with the NHL, hockey. And this young girl in her pink room is a gymnast and a ballerina. And she absolutely loves watching hockey, knows everything about it, records the games, not only video, but audio as well, and listens to them on cassette tape. She knows the plays, she knows the announcers, she knows all the teams, all the players. And so this girl in her pink room starts switching her decor. And now it's all hockey. And she's made the Boston Bruins symbol on her circle pink rug in masking tape. And then that masking tape that has the B on it, she colors with a yellow highlighter because now it'll light up in the black light. And this girl wants so bad to play hockey. And so she teaches herself. Now, she, as a gymnast and a ballerina, didn't want to give up doing that. But she wanted to add hockey to her list of abilities. But there was no way any parent could afford both. So she was told no. But she wanted to do it anyway, and there was some bullshit going on within the family where it was a hockey playing family. And she was looked down upon for doing so-called girl sports. And so this resonated. And as a young girl, not really understanding the culture of the family, felt bad that she did quote unquote girl sports. She continued to do it, but also felt the judgment. So this young girl owned a pair of white figure skates. And she went down to the frozen brook. Back in those days, the brook froze over. Went down to the frozen brook, and she taught herself how to play hockey in those figure skates. So stopping on hockey skates is completely different than with figure skates. So you can imagine that her method of skating and playing on figure skates was a little bit different, but she didn't care. She taught herself how to stick handle, taught herself how to, cross over. She was skating. She already knew all the rules of the game, but that didn't really matter with pond hockey, not the kind she was playing. So this young lady who did gymnastics and ballet and now taught herself how to play pond hockey was challenging all the boys at school to games in the afternoons after school or on the weekends. And that girl with her pink rum and her Boston Bruins symbol on her rug would grab her figure skates and her hockey stick and head out. She'd walk through the woods. And it was a swamp, so a lot of it was frozen. So she'd be in her skates and she would skate some way and then walk a bit in the dirt and the leaves. And then hop on another sheet of ice and skate a little bit more until she made it to the pond. And she would challenge these boys to a game of pond hockey. It would be 2 against 1. And she annihilated them and I'm guessing there might have been a little bit of leniency given to her, which she didn't notice. And if she did notice, she would have been pissed. Or maybe not. I certainly don't want to inflate the skills that she had back then. But I can speak on behalf of this young lady to this day who can still get on the ice and beat the boys in pond hockey. So if you haven't guessed that little girl is me, I mean, if you're just picking that up now, then you had too many drinks last night. So just recently, not last year, but the year before, I got on the ice and I actually wore hockey skates. And I always wore figure skates because that's all I had. And I worked with what I had and I wasn't embarrassed about it. Now thinking about it, the girl who played ice hockey, pond hockey on her figure skates is more badass because that opened her up to ridicule. But she did it anyway. So 2 years back, I put on a pair of hockey skates for the first time. The skates were too big, but I put them on anyway, and they were unsharpened. And I wobbled around a little bit. But as soon as I put that stick in my hands, it was just confidence, instant confidence. Even now, I'm talking about 2 years ago. But to this day, I put a stick in my hands and I feel badass. I don't understand it, but I think, talking about it is going to help. So I put on those hockey skates and jumped onto the lake with a friend of mine. And, maybe I'd maybe a little bit of something to prove, but mostly I just wanted to play. And I can be aggressive, and I like to be aggressive, and I need to be. It's just part of my character. And so we played, and I made him bleed, and I cracked his phone. But it was fun. And after playing for a little while, we got approached by a brother and sister. Now, these two were teenagers. And my friend and I were not teenagers. Still aren't. Doesn't work that way. And the brother and sister asked us if we wanted to play. And I'm like, heck yes, of course I do. And, I didn't, I was going to play regardless. And they asked, how do you want to team up? And we decided we were going to team up boys versus girls. So it was myself and the teen girl and my friend and the little bit older teen boy. And we played 2-on-2. and she and I skated circles around them. It was the most fun I've had in a long time. And so I guess the point of me bringing that up is not to tell you how awesome I am on the ice, although it's not too bad. But, I'm thinking back and not trusting my memory as to how good I was, how well I taught myself, and how much I invested into playing back when I was a kid, back when I was a teenager and wasn't allowed to play officially and was out there playing with the guys. I don't want to tell a story that's not true. I'm not about that. I'm all about being authentic. And so I guess why I'm bringing up this latest pond hockey challenge, which was 2 years ago, is that if I was still that good at my advanced age on skates that I've never skated in before, and not having skated in a long time, not with that intensity anyway, then I must have been friggin' brilliant back when I was a kid. No doubt. The evidence lines up. I've had 3 children since playing as a teenager. And still I can get on that ice and I was holding back too. Badass. So I wanted to, and I haven't done a podcast in a while, and I've just been really busy. And this weekend is no different. I'm actually sitting in my car right now, and I need to drive somewhere, but I hate doing podcasts while driving because you can hear the road sound, and it just makes it for a really bad audio quality. So, I'm sitting in my car, and this has been an example. This is an on-brand Molly Stone weekend. By on-brand, I mean running at 110% and basically sleeping and eating just to sustain the overwhelming amount of activity that I've got going on. And that's how I roll. That's how I like to roll. I've been home. I slept at home last night. But maybe I've been home, maybe. Let's see. Let me do the math here. Maybe 12 hours since Friday. And today's Sunday. And I guess, there's someone right outside the car with a dog. I hate when people are listening to me. Although when I go and share these podcasts with the world, I have no idea who's listening. But if somebody is standing by while I'm trying to record, I can't do it. Go away. All right, I'm going to hit pause until he goes away. Well, I'm driving. What's new? But I guess this is my life as a social experiment, so anything goes. And this is part of it. So back on the road. I'm going slow behind a camper, so all is safe. So back to the story. I guess I bring up that story of being a self-taught pond hockey player, not to give evidence to my internal aggression and my desire to crush others on the ice, but it is an example of how I've lived my life since day one, which is crushing the internal barriers as well as the external ones, but mostly the internal ones. Being told that I can't do something makes me want to do it even more so. And it's not proving to others that I can do it, because I know in my head that I can, and I could do it despite the fact if they believe me or not. But it's my own internal drive to do it, and I can prove that with many